Teresa, of working with bloggers, working behind the scenes. And it was in season 14 where I stepped up and said, hey guys, it's true. She does. And here's how we do it. I mean, they're still doing it, David. I have to really this point needs to be made. At the very beginning of this whole expose, I guess, I was on your podcast and I made it clear that Reality Blurb was one of the reality websites that works with that camp. There's a specific writer, I'll say his first name, Adam. I would post something on social media. Jim Leonard would let me know that Adam is going to amplify the message. Then, boom, the very next day or even sometimes that evening, Adam would write a story on Reality Blurb and amplify my post or my tweet. And then it would spread the message that we wanted within the camp. It would take it far and wide. Like it would stick it on a bigger platform for everyone else to see it because we wanted to push that narrative. They're still doing it. They just released an article, I think it was yesterday or the day before, Adam, and it was the message Teresa wanted pushed, and it's with the bots that they're using now. So I'm still able to pick up the pattern as to how they're amplifying messages. Just like Teresa recently leaked that John Fuda article from 2008. So even after these people have been exposed, they're still up to their dirty schemes. Like they're still working with people in the media. They're still working with bloggers to push the narrative. So like I'd like to personally tell Bravo, they learned no lesson. They didn't give a shit that they got caught. They're still working with people to advance their narrative to hurt cast members on your show. Like it will never end until these girls are fired. I mean, they're never going to stop. Jen Aydin as well. She just leaked. I know the network is aware of this. I don't see how they cannot be. A specific blogger on Instagram just leaked a text message between Margaret and the entire cast from a couple seasons back. How did that blogger get that text message? Jen Aydin. How did we all figure out how it was Jen Aydin? Because somebody sent me a screenshot. That article, that post on Instagram was only up for about 2 minutes, David. And guess who liked it? Jen Aydin. I mean, they're so obvious. And then from reading that Reality Blurb article that just dropped and seeing the blogger that they're amplifying, and I was just like, wow, nothing I revealed mattered to these people. They feel very much untouchable.
Do you think, and then we'll get into these spoilers from tonight's episode, do you think that if Jen Aydin is fired and Teresa's two biggest problems, Melissa and Margaret, are fired? I'm just asking. Melissa's gone, Margaret's gone, Jen Aydin's gone, Jackie's gone, and somehow, by the grace of the Bravo gods, Teresa learns to see another day, and we have a pause for months and months until she's back with Dolores and whoever. There's no more Margaret and Melissa there, and Jen is gone. Do you think Teresa will learn? Do you think they'll speak to her like, bitch, you should have been fired and we're saving your job? Like 7 months from now, 5, whatever. You think next season she'll learn? Because no, I agree. She hasn't learned at this present moment.
No. I think that far too much got exposed against her and her camp. Even her lawyer was exposed. And that should have been enough to scare her, not to scare her, but to like make her realize, oh shit, people got my game. Like people know what I'm doing behind the scenes. Let me change it up. Let me not do that. I'm fearful that Bravo's gonna fire me. I'm scared for my job. I don't want to lose that 2 mil. Like I'm worried. And no, she did not care. She really feels like it's the Teresa show, that they cannot lose her because there will be no storyline and she will not change. She won't.
Wow.
I think even if she went to cast members and made peace, it would be temporary. And I would like to personally warn cast members if she's trying to reach out to like make peace, because she'll only do that to appease Bravo, but she'll be back at it next season. And she's been doing it for so long and she's gotten away with it that if they bring her back, David, she'll continue to get away with it because they didn't fire her. So she'll keep going. Why would she stop?
It's like an addiction.
Yeah, no, she won't. And she always told me it's the Teresa show. Like everything revolves around me, honey. Like those words come out of her mouth. And now that I see how she played the game, of course it revolves around you. You make it that way. I mean, she walked in a couple seasons ago and told everybody at Evan's party that he cheated. She's constantly like in the center because she makes it that way. I mean, she likes to blame other people so she doesn't get in trouble, but no, she behind the scenes, and I exposed it this season how it works. She makes everything revolve around her. And that's why some people had, when they asked me, like, do you think a spinoff will work with her? And I said no. And they're like, well, why are you so sure? Well, because Teresa's the villain. She's a bad guy. And she's made things behind the scenes to where she's the center of the drama. So take away the cast, people that she could no longer fight with or dig on or leak rumors about or plant storylines against. What is she going to talk about? I mean, Melania's leaving, so she's out of the house. Gabriela is gone in Michigan. Gia's there, but she's not very interesting. What is Louie? Like, they probably barely let him film this season because he puts his foot in his mouth every time he opens it. So no, she
Yeah.
won't survive. She won't survive. And she's been, too much of a villain to sell off to another network, I think. I think people view her as a negative character, and I just don't think she'd survive on her own. So I mean, if they do give her a spinoff, I will just say maybe one season and that's it.
Because I mean, if it were me, I would say I've gotten caught. I don't give a crap about the bloggers. I don't give a crap about the podcast. All of you are screwed. I'm Teresa. Don't ever contact me again. I would never text you again. I would never email you again. I would never DM you again. You can try me 24/7. I would just vanish. I would never put something in writing again. And if I were the lawyer, I'd be saying all communication has ceased with all these people. Like, they're watching you. You have a second chance. Nobody gets a second chance except for maybe Jax Taylor. And that's it. And I would just show up if I were Teresa, and I would never speak to a blogger or a podcast or anyone again. That would just,
Yeah.
right? I would say I almost lost this huge amount of money, and I hate Margaret and she's gone, and I hate Melissa and she's gone. So I have no problems. I mean, she's been telling
Yeah.
us for over a decade, I'm the happiest woman in the world if there's no Melissa, right? I mean, that's what she says in
Yeah.
every interview. So I would just be like, I got what I wanted. All the bloggers can go away. There's no more tea or exclusives. Don't ever contact me again.
Yeah, no, but she doesn't work that way. It's just like impossible for her. And you know what, really, like how you said she's the happiest person. Wasn't it very telling that at the sit down that we witnessed last week, her lawyer said she's been more stressed these last 3 years than she was going to prison. What does that tell you? I mean, stressed over what? And I've seen a couple of bloggers point out, like, Teresa personally has nothing to be stressed over. All of her stress revolves around who? Her husband. And it's true, you guys. I have been on the phone with her. I've heard the screaming matches. I've heard him rip Jim Leonard a new one. I've heard her throw her phone out of anger because he will walk into the room and he works her up like no other. He did it in front of Melissa Feaster. Like, we've witnessed a lot in regards to this man. He is like a problem child who is like right at your feet, telling you this, wanting that, needing this, stressing that. And it's like you're at the point where you want to rip your hair out and you want to like tell the guy, shut up, go away. Like, I was on the phone with her one time in the car and I could hear him. He was on the phone with someone and she had to stop our conversation like about 6 times, David.